You're right, lads, this is the Jody Jedi here. Today we're back with the last of the at least important conferences, which is Sony. This, of course, I'm more of a PlayStation 4 kind of person, so this is perhaps has a little more to do with me. Saying that, actually, there's not a really huge amount of information that directly affects me, really. Let's see. First thing that kicked off with was The Last Guardian. Now, some people probably won't know what perhaps might not know what The Last Guardian is. It's an old game, funny enough. It's in E3. It was revealed in like E3 2008, maybe even earlier than that. It basically, for its time, it looked shit hot. I mean, the graphics were out of this fucking world at the time. At the time, I should stress this, at the time, looked shit hot. It looked fucking amazing. Everyone went wild because it looked the business. And then it got cancelled. And then nearly every E3 for the past probably next 3 years after it was announced, you know, everyone was thinking maybe it'll show up again. It never did. And then finally in 2015, at E3 2015, they announced that it is actually coming out in full PlayStation 4. It's not as big a deal now, I suppose, basically because not many people have actually heard of it. It's one of those things when you have to read all the little bits of information if you're in the gaming community and all that kind of stuff to know about the game. Yeah. It looks interesting, but it's not really. I don't think it's really me, at least not by the looks of it. It's meant to be a bit emotional too, a little bit like Last of the Colossus. You know, might be decent. We'll see what happens. Then a new game called Horizon Zero Dawn was announced. It is made by the people who made Killzone, and Killzone's it's not a bad game, it's just not really a good one either, although it does vary. I've only played Shadowfall. I think Killzone 3 was meant to be brilliant, so anyways, it's made by the same guys, meant to be like post-apocalyptic, possibly. It looks like it should be. It basically is bow and arrow fighting dinosaurs. You can't go wrong really with a nice looking lass. Hitman, the new Hitman game was released. Well, announced. I keep saying released. It was announced. I quite liked Hitman, the last one. Which one was the last one? I can't remember the last one. It was a good game. Hitman's always been a fair. It's like a little bit of a precursor to Assassin's Creed. It's certainly it's similar in its gameplay in a sense, especially with the whole stealth kind of thing whenever you're doing stealthy missions, but obviously free running, no, it doesn't have any of that. Then they did No Man's Sky. Now No Man's Sky was something that I think was shown off last E3, a little bit like in the way Last Guardian kind of was, with just a little bit of a teaser. You know, it wasn't much when Last Guardian was first announced, you know, just a little bit of a teaser. Now it's not seriously special. It's meant to be a universe-sized game where what you do is you can buy ships, you can help fight factions, you can just go to other new random planets and explore and discover new shit. It's meant to be basically a very open world. Doesn't quite do it justice. You know, do absolutely whatever you want. You can help, you know, warring factions if you fancy it. You can just discover new planets if you fancy it. And every new planet, what you do is you go on the ship, you fly, you know, through the galaxy to the planet, and you land on the planet. There's no cutscenes in the middle. You just go down, you land where the fuck you want, and that's it. That's what it looks like, and it looks amazing. But it's a huge project by the guys who are doing it. I think that's why it's still probably another. I don't think it's out next year. I don't think it might be out in 2016. Possibly, I think 2017 myself. From the gameplay they showed, it looks kind of ready, but they're having to make it bigger. They're not necessarily having to improve graphics or whatever. They're just making it bigger. Then it's two bits of news in one. Now people went apeshit for this because people have been dying for this to happen for probably about maybe 5 years. It's really sort of hit into its stride. Final Fantasy VII is being remade. Final Fantasy VII, if you don't play Final Fantasy, is the best one that there ever has been. I mean, I think there's some arguments between 7 and I think maybe 4, perhaps. It's one and another one, but personally, Final Fantasy VII, best one ever. And people have been dying for a remake because the only problem with Final Fantasy VII really these days is that its graphics are very, very dated. The game didn't age well at all, but the story, the gameplay was dead on, and they're remaking it. So that's amazing. That's amazing news. That I'd love to see the 8th one remade as well. I was a big fan of the 8th one. I think people weren't a fan of the 8th one because it came right after number 7, and everyone judged it by number 7 standards. Well, I actually quite like number 8, but loved Final Fantasy VII. Then Shenmue 3. Now this one, it's a Kickstarter campaign, but it's got Sony's backing, and that's because basically Sony want to do the game, but they're unwilling to put the money behind it. Shenmue is a franchise of basically from Japan that it was very, very well received by critics, but did not sell well at all. And this is kind of their problem. It was a brilliant game for its time. It really was. It was insane how good it was. But it never got really properly released. It was never advertised, so it fell through. And also in general, people weren't interested for some unknown reason, even though critics loved it. It didn't happen. Literally showed Morpheus. They didn't do any gameplay demo like Xbox did. And then they did Uncharted 4, the last of the Uncharted. There was a gameplay demo of it. That looked good. I'm a big fan of Uncharted. As I mentioned in the Xbox one, I love Tomb Raider. I prefer Tomb Raider because it's the end of it. Uncharted 4 though, I love Nathan Drake's one of my favourite characters that's ever been made. There's something about him. Done by Nolan North, of course, who's a brilliant voice actor. Anyway, all looks amazing. Really, this E3's been... I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's been crap and brilliant at the same time. It's been really weird because Battlefront, amazing. FIFA updates, shit. Mass Effect, amazing. Stuff like Dark Souls 3 when they showed it off, shit. Like from Xbox point of view, I like Dark Souls 3 will probably actually be really good. It's just Forza Motorsport 6, stuff like that, all useless really. But then there was just some amazing things that came out. So, this is the last of the E3 reviews, unfortunately. This has been the Geordie Jedi. Leave a like if you can, it really helps. Subscribe for more videos. And I'll see you later.